What's up, YouTubers? I'm just here somewhere in one of the parks. Up there is the church. Actually, it's more over there. You can't see it because of the trees. But it's the street Guadalupe Real. Incidentally, on this street, it goes all the way into Parque Central. And then right on the corner of Guadalupe is the Farmacia Ahora. They have the antigen test for 300 pesos plus, I think, tax. The 300 pesos I don't think includes the tax. Anyways, I only mentioned it because I just found out yesterday the shuttles don't run anymore for the gringos. So you have to take public transportation, which is the bus or the cambio, the combis, which it's about 60 pesos to Comitán, and then from Comitán I think it's 50 or 60 to the border. And then normally you take a taxi or a motorcycle taxi to the actual border. Anyhow, I just wanted to mention that if you're not a resident or a passport holder of Guatemala, you need a antigen test. I'm going to find out tomorrow where, even if you have a residency, if you still need, not tomorrow, but in the next few days, if you actually need the antigen test. I'm going to get it mainly because it's cheap. I want to see how accurate it is. And when I got tested before, it said I didn't have the antibodies. This is supposed to, I don't know if it's really a better test, but allegedly a better test. Then the PCR test, I think, is allegedly the gold standard, which from what I've heard from doctors privately, these tests aren't that accurate. There's a lot of positives that are false. False positives, I think, is what you're supposed to say. Anyways, I just mentioned that because all this testing is a little crazy because it's not exactly accurate to begin with. Well, tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to go get that test. Again, some people are charging like 1,000 pesos or 900 in that ballpark, and some people are saying you have to get it in Tuxtla or Tapachula, the bigger cities, but I did find out online that you can get it here in San Cristobal. And then I went to the Farmacia Aurora, and they say it's 300 pesos plus tax, so I'm going to check that out. Other than that, not too much is going on. I just got a report from one of my friends. He's in El DF, or the capital of Mexico, and I'm not saying they're closing down again, but he said he went to many malls and even the McDonald's and just fast food places and kind of the big chains, restaurants. You can't go in anymore. You can only go in some cases to order takeout. Whereas before you could at least order a coffee at McDonald's, sit down, half the tables were taped off so you couldn't sit at them, but the other half were available, you could sit down. Now you can't even sit down anymore. And so he's kind of thinking they might close the city down. I don't know. But that's partly why I got out of there a few days ago, because they're starting to mark out specific blocks that have a high COVID rate and blocks that have a less COVID rate that are right next to each other. I don't want to be in that situation right now because they might actually kick you out of the hotel if you get a fever. Before, they weren't even taking your temperatures to get into a hotel, but now it wouldn't surprise me if, well, he told me they're actually checking your temperature to see if you have a fever. Now, if you don't have a fever, I guess they let you in. Even if you paid, they might ask you to leave. I'm not sure about that. I don't know how that would go in Mexico City. But because of being a foreigner and my Spanish sucking, I don't want to get my money refunded if I already paid and then get kicked out of the hotel and then not be able to get into another one. That's why I left. Right now, it's hard to know what's going to really happen in these situations. I wouldn't normally say that would happen to you, but in his case, they're saying they're testing them, and this is a cheaper hotel before they even let you in your hotel, even after you paid. So that leads me to believe if you had a fever for some reason unrelated to COVID, they might not let you back in. They might collect your things and give it to you and tell you to leave, or they might not. I don't know. Anyhow, for right now, San Cristobal is really mellow. Nothing unusual or, to me, weird like that's happening. You can go almost anywhere. The only thing you can't really do is go inside the banks. You gotta wait in line. You gotta have a mask. They, temperature check you and all that jazz. But other than that, it's fairly normal. Anyways, I just wanted to give that little brief announcement about what's going on with COVID down here. There's a lot of misinformation on crossing the borders, whether you need the test or not. I'm also going to see if you actually really need it, even if you're not a resident or citizen of Guatemala, because usually at land borders they can be pretty mellow on who they let across. But I'm going to find out in the next few days. So I'll post an update then. Anyways, I'm just here in the park in Mexico, or pardon me, in San Cristobal. It's the church all the way at the end of Guadalupe Real Street. Anyways, here's a little footage of it. If you go up the stairs, go off to the left, you can see to the left, or maybe you can't. There's the steps. It's the church where you walk up. Many foreigners go to. I've been there many times. It's nothing all that exciting to me anyways, but if you're an older person, be careful. The steps are pretty dusty. Anyways, I'm not going to walk up it today, but I'm going to post a video tomorrow on what's going on as far as COVID tests, results, crossing the borders, making sure the not combis, but the shuttles are available. Because right now you can't take any kind of gringo shuttle. You can only take the local shuttles or the local combis, which you have to take the 2 to get to the border, which is about 120 pesos or 150 pesos tops. Anyways, I'm gonna just take the combis tomorrow. I might check later to see if there's actual bus ticket, because for Tapachula there is, but for the other border crossings, when I checked earlier, there was no bus tickets. I'm gonna double check again tonight to see what the deal is. But it looks like I'll have to take the combis from here to take one from here to Comitan, and then one to from Comitan to La Mesilla, or Cuauhtémoc on the Mexican side, La Mesilla on the Guatemalan side. And before you could just walk right in, sneak in or whatever. But when they close it off with barriers. But it's all open now. My understanding is you just need the COVID test. And if you're a citizen or a resident of Guatemala, you don't need any test. But I'll find out in the next couple of days to see what's going on, see how chaotic it is, see if you can still sneak across if you want to. Anyways, this is Johnny, aka peace out. Anyways, here's some more footage of beautiful San Cristobal de las Casas.